morning, everyone. So, bright Saturday morning. So, bright topic. That is what? Cash flow statement. So, that's the topic we are starting with today. Cash flow statement. I'm pretty sure this is a particular topic which you have come across in some form or the other, either in your +1, +2, or your BCom. Yeah, somewhere. No, first time. Anybody doing it for the first time or heard about this? FM you heard, huh? FM, Loda? I didn't teach only, Loda. You learned it from somebody else, Loda. In BCom FM you learned, huh? Okay, no worries. Some of you who said, I've heard about cash flow statement. What does cash flow statement mean to you? Or even if you have not heard about it, it is fine. What does that term cash flow statement itself mean to you?
So anything transaction happens through bank or cash.
So he's saying, sir, it is a simple statement which captures a transaction which is either happening through cash or a transaction which is happening through bank. Perfect. You can't summarize it even in a more simplified manner. It is just a statement which just captures cash coming in, cash going out of the organization. That's all is cash flow statement. It is not an account. Account will have debit and credit. Statement means it will just have particulars amount. You have prepared bank reconciliation statement, insurance claim statement, etc., etc. So cash flow is actually a statement. What does this particular statement capture? Cash coming in and cash going out of the organization. That's all. And don't be misled by the term cash over here. Here cash means cash and cash equivalents. For this statement perspective, cash means cash and cash equivalents. Meaning, as he said, it captures cash transaction also. It captures bank transaction also. So far okay with you? There is something known as cash equivalent. What is that? I'll tell you. First, let's do some basics and then I'll move. I'll tell you what does that word cash equivalent mean. For in your head, for now, you put in the idea that cash flow statement is simply a statement which captures cash coming in, cash going out. And here cash means both cash in hand as well as cash at bank. That's all. Okay, people? Yes. This cash coming in and this cash going out, we put it into 3 buckets. We capture this information in 3 headers or 3 buckets. Those buckets are called cash flow from operating activity, cash flow from investing activity, cash flow from financing activity. This cash inflow, cash outflow, no, we put it under 3 categories or 3 buckets: operating, investing, and finance activity. That's all you have to find in this particular topic. That's all. Okay, simple. They'll give you some data. You just have to take that data and dump it into a particular format. But along the way, you will figure it out that some of the components are missing. Wherever components are missing, we may have to put some working notes and figure it out. Working notes could be in the form of simple calculation, straightforward calculation, or maybe ledger accounts, whatever. Is this okay? That's all is cash flow statement all about. Yes, sir. Okay. What is the first bucket I said, sir?
Operating activity.
Cash flow from operating activities. Now you tell me. Name itself is saying operating activities. Yes, operating activities means core activities of any business. Now you tell me, what are some examples of operating activities related to cash?
Sir, for ArivuPro, that fee which student pays.
We'll take general maybe. That will be easier for everyone. General business mein, there is a trader, let's assume, he's buying goods and he's selling goods. That's his business. So what do you think is his core operations related to cash? That you tell me an example. Perfect. So one of his trader ka main operation is what? He purchases the goods. What is the cash impact on that?
Purchase which cash.
Because when you purchase, you will have to make either a cash purchase. So cash purchase is an example of operating activities because it is related to our core operation. Is it necessary we have to purchase on cash only, or can we make credit purchase? Credit purchase also. In fact, most of the purchase these days are made on credit. If you purchase on credit, at some point of time you have to pay creditors. So cash paid to creditor also is an example of operating activity. So far okay? After purchasing, what do? We sell. Same like purchase, even sales could be of two types. What are those?
Cash sales.
Cash sales and cash received from debtors in with respect to credit sale. So cash sales as well as cash received from debtors. This is also an example of operating activities. Okay. Then to do your operations, you need employees. So employee salary paid, rent paid, electricity bill paid, all these operating expense which you are paying in cash, that is also related to operating activities only. Are we okay? So these information will be available to you. That information, take it and dump it under the first category known as cash flow from operating activities. So all this cash flow you add, and finally you find out how much is the net final cash flow from operating activities. That's all. That is your first category ka summary. Over. That's it. People okay?
Yes.
This is the first heading. Can we move on to the second bucket? What is the second bucket? I told online also keep responding. What is the second bucket? Cash flow from investing activities. That is the second category. Now you think, where and all can a company invest? First, within you just check. Within the organization, you think where and all can they invest?
Fixed assets.
Perfect. If you just check our own classroom, we have camera, mic, TV, AC. Yes. Tables, chairs. What are all this? Fixed assets. Are we not investing in these assets to conduct our business? Yes. So purchase of fixed asset is an example of what activity?
Investment.
Investing activity. Fair enough. If we have purchased this particular TV, it will last forever, or at some point of time we may have to sell it and buy a new one.
Buy a new.
At some point of time we may have to sell the old one. So if purchase of fixed asset is an investing activity, sale of fixed asset also is an investing activity. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you'll only purchase fixed asset, or can you also purchase intangible assets? Intangible assets. Like we have ArivuPro app, correct? So that is an intangible. That software is an intangible asset for us. So intangible asset purchased and intangible asset sold. That is also an example of investing activity, because to conduct the operations, a company may need some intangible assets also, like software. We have app for attendance marking. We have our own app for video recording. Yes, no? Many organizations will have many intangible assets also. So that is also an example of investing activities. Okay, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Then after doing all this drama, still if you have surplus cash, what do you think company will do?
Securities, profit debenture.
They will invest it in some other company, because they don't want to keep the cash idle, right? At least if they invest somewhere, they will get some extra return. So investment purchased as well as investment sold, both are related to what activity? Investing activity. Whether that investment could be in the form of shares, debentures, fixed deposits, bank, anything, doesn't matter. All this will come under investing activity, both purchase of investment as well as sale of investment. So far okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, sir, if you have purchased investment, what are you going to receive? Let's say you purchased, you have invested in bank a fixed deposit or recurring deposit. What are you going to get? Interest. Why are you getting the interest? Because you purchased the investment. If investment purchased is investing activity, the interest that you receive on that investment is also investing activity. So interest received is an example of investing activity. That's the sixth component, or seventh or whatever. Then if you purchase some other company ka equity shares, what does equity shareholders or preference shareholders get? Dividend. So dividend received is an example of investing activity. So to put it up again, purchase of fixed asset, sale of fixed asset, purchase of intangible asset, sale of intangible asset, purchase of investment, sale of investment, interest received, dividend received. All these are common examples of investing activity. That does not mean only 8 are investing activity. I'm just telling these are common things which you find in problems. There could be others also which we will take care as and when we get to the problems. Second bucket is also clear. First is operating. Second one is investing. What is the third bucket, sir? Cash flow from financing activity. Financing means rokka, money. You need money, no? To conduct the business, everyone obviously needs money, the finance. Now you think, how and all can you raise that finance? Or from where and all can you raise?
By issuing share.
One, you can raise the finance by issuing equity shares.
Yes, sir.
So issue of equity shares is what activity? Financing activity, because that's one way of raising the finance. If you can issue equity shares, can you also buy them back? Meaning, can you also cancel them? Yes, it is there. I think it will come in your group 2 topic, buyback of equity shares. We'll see. So issue of equity shares as well as buyback of equity shares is an example of financing activity. Only equity shares, can you also issue something else?
Debenture.
You can issue preference shares also. So preference shares issued and cancellation of preference shares, which we call it as a redemption of preference shares. Both are also example of financing activity. That's all. One more.
One more.
Issue of debentures and cancellation of debentures, which we call it as redemption of debentures. This is also an example of financing activity. Or conventionally, you can take a bank loan. Bank loan taken as well as bank loan repaid is an example of financing activity. If the company has issued equity shares or preference shares to the shareholders, should the company pay anything?
Yes, sir. Dividend.
Yes. What do they need to pay?
Dividend.
Dividend. Yes. If equity shares and preference shares issued are financing activity, the dividend paid on them is also financing activity. Dividend received, dividend paid. Dividend you receive on investment. So dividend received is a investing activity, but dividend paid by the company is a financing activity. This is okay.
Yes, yes.
If the company has taken a bank loan or if they have issued debentures, they need to pay interest. So interest paid is an example of financing activity. So these are the common examples of financing activity. All of you clear with this now?
Yes.
That's quick this thing. What about income tax paid? What activity? You know now activities are classified into, or cash flow is categorized into 3: operating, investing, finance. We'll call it as OIF. Income tax paid is what? O as in operating, I as in investing, or F as in financing. What is it? Operating. It will not come only saying, sir, you should go one step back. What topic are we solving? What is the topic name? Cash flow statement. Income tax, what did I say? Income tax paid. If you pay income tax, your cash or bank balance will be same or it will reduce. What does cash flow statement capture? Cash coming in, cash going out. Yes, because of income tax, cash is coming in or cash is going out? Going out. So now you think, will the statement capture or miss it out? Capture. That means, yeah, it will come. Any cash transaction will come into the cash flow statement. Okay. So now the question is where? OIF. Operating. Any other answers? Somebody saying FA. FA as in what? Financing activity. Okay. Somebody saying operating. Somebody saying finance. Okay. Any other takers for investing activity, Papa? That bichara is still open? No, sir. Operating only. Why operating, sir?
Without payment of tax,
What is that?
without payment of tax, we cannot undergo our business.
He's saying, sir, without paying tax, government will not give permission to carry on the business. That is partly correct. Actually, tax could be anything. Tax could be anything. What does that mean, sir? Majority of the tax that you pay will be related to your business. Correct? So the normal income tax that you pay, since it is mostly related to your operations, we categorize it under operating activity. The normal tax that you pay, most of it will be related to, sir, or operating activity. So we put it under operating activity. But your tax students, you already learned, yes, you have heard about LTCG, STCG and all. Long-term capital gain tax, short-term capital gain tax. You will pay LTCG, STCG when you sell assets.
Yes, sir.
Asset purchased is what for cash flow statement?
Investment activity.
Is an investing activity. So the tax that you pay on the asset sold will come under investing activity. This is okay. So tax could be anything. If the asset is an investing activity, then the corresponding item of tax also will be clubbed under investing activity. Like you paid dividend. Earlier there used to be dividend distribution tax. Now they've abolished it. Earlier there used to be dividend distribution tax. So since dividend paid is a financing activity, dividend distribution tax also will be shown under financing activity. But in your problem, if they just say tax paid and they don't give further information, but you know majority of the tax will be related to the core operations of business. So hence we categorize this under operating activity. But if they give further information, you need to keep an open mind. Are we fine? But generally, tax paid, majority of your right will come under operating activities. So yes, awesome. So I think we have done few things. So can I go for a question to see how well is our understanding? Or maybe one more thing I think I have to explain this. Sir, what is the first header? Cash flow from operating activities. Sir, this cash flow statement no, is backed by one accounting standard. Accounting standard 3 talks about preparations of cash flow statement. How we need to prepare cash flow statement, that format and all is recommended by accounting standard 3. What is accounting standard? Its relevance and all we'll take maybe in some days. It is there. Okay, some accounting standards you have it in Inter, some accounting standard you have it in, or rather some you have it in group 1 account, some you have it in group 2 accounts, like that. And in CA final only accounting standard is there, not local standard. We have international standard, IFRS. Okay, currently if I have to say 99% of the syllabus of CA final is only standard and standard and standard. There are 2 topics which they are actually planning to remove as per new syllabus. So that means it will only become 100% probably standard only. Very interesting topic because standards are fun. It's all case study things. Okay. Anyways, coming back to the topic, as I told, cash flow statement is backed by accounting standard 3. First header is operating activity. To prepare operating activity, AS3 has recommended 2 methods. One is direct method, another one is indirect method. Somewhere it should be there, no? Here. To prepare cash flow from operating activity, we can either prepare it under direct method or indirect method. So probably to start with, we will take questions relating to direct method. Then we will get on to indirect method. What is this direct, indirect? Let's learn with the help of problems itself. Okay. All right. Come to which one? Question number 4. Fourth one. What about other questions? We will do it. But first we will take up question number 4. Okay, let's read through this particular question. The following summary cash account has been extracted from the company's accounting records. So they've given some summary and they're saying all the numbers are in thousands. Balance at 1st March 20x1. Okay. And then you just check the last line. Balance at 31st March 20x1. How much is that? 212. Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Sir, they have given balance on 1st March, which is 35,000. Balance on 31st March, which is 2,12,000. So that means, what do you think they will ask us to prepare? Check the requirement. Prepare cash flow statement of the company for the year ended 31st March 20x2. Statement means you have to prepare it for 1 year or it can be prepared for any period.
Any period.
You can prepare it for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, whole year. Yes. Here they have given the data for whole year or only for 1 month. They've given opening balance on 1st March and they've given, I think, whole year ka looks like, because the year is ending on 31st March. Okay, but the balance looks like 1st March 20x1. Okay, I think actually this should have been 1st April 20x1. I think it's a typo in study material. I think but here also they have typed 1st March. Yeah, it's a typo. Make it as 1st April. It's okay. Not mine, pa. ICI. They will correct next edition. Okay. So this is, can I say, is the opening balance of cash?
Yes.
And what is this 212? It is the closing balance of cash. Then they've given various other cash information. Now I'll read through one by one. You need to tell me whether it is O, I or F. O as in operating activity, I as in investing activity, F as in financing activity. Then I'll show you the presentation. Okay, that's your class. That's your task. Receipt from customers. Customers means our debtors. We have received money from our debtors. So what is this? This is related to our core operation. So this is operating activities. Are we fine? So receipt from debtors means cash is coming in or cash is going out of the company. Cash is coming in. If it is a receipt, or rather if it is cash coming in or if it is cash inflow, we in the statement we show it as a positive number. If the cash is going out, we show it in brackets, as in we show it as a negative number. That's all. Because statement cannot have debit credit, no. So that's the reason receipt we showed as a positive number, payment as a negative number. So I'll write it as O plus. Perfect. Not blood group. Under operating activity, we show this as a positive number. Issue of shares. Shares issued is an example of, or is a way of raising finance. So that means this is what? Financing activity. When you issue the shares, company receives the money or pays the money? Receives the money. So under financing activity, this should come as F plus. Okay. Sale of fixed asset. Fixed asset purchased is an, or rather this is a fixed asset is an investment. Here what are you doing? Purchase or sale? When you sell the fixed asset, you're going to receive the money. So what is this now? Investing activity as a plus. Perfect. Payment to suppliers. How much is payment to suppliers? This is the total. The payment that you made is 2047. How much is what is this 2047?
Operating activity.
Payment to suppliers means payment made to creditors. So what is this? Operating activities plus or minus? Minus, because cash is going out. Payments for property, plant and equipment. Now fixed asset, no, they don't call it, they use the term fixed asset. Fixed asset has become, standard has got revised and there is a new name. Instead of fixed asset, we call it as property, plant and equipment. Okay. So there is nothing but fixed asset purchased because you made payment. No, you will make payment for a fixed asset only when you purchase it. So what is this now?
Investment activity.
It is an investing activity, plus or minus? Minus, because cash is going out. Payment of overheads, wages and salary. What are these two?
Operating activity.
Both are your operating expenses which you have paid related to operations. That means both are what, sir? O minus. Perfect. Taxation. Have they given you extra clarification or just a tax? Just a tax. If it is just tax, we'll take it as operating activity and you will show it as a minus. Dividends. Sir, all these are payments. Okay, these are coming under payment side. Okay, so it is dividends they're saying. So what is this? This is dividend received or dividend paid? This is dividend paid because all these are payments. Okay, so dividend paid is what activity? Dividend you pay because the company has issued some equity shares or some preference shares. So that's the reason dividend paid is a financing activity, plus or minus? Minus. Repayment of bank loan. Bank loan taken is a financing activity. So repayment of loan is also a financing activity. So this is F minus. So you got all the things. Take this data and dump it into the format over question. Can we do it for effort? Very easy. So yeah. Prepare cash flow statement and according to AS3. The company does not have any cash equivalents. Okay, that is fine. That is their headache. Question number 4. Cash flow statement. Cash flow statement of which company is this? Have they given the name of the company? Of Hills Limited. Okay, they have given in the bottom para. Of Hills Limited. For the year ended, they are asking, no? For the year ended 31st March 20x2, na?
Yes.
Okay. So the format is particulars amount, or you can also have particulars and 2 amounts column. One for the working, another one for the main. I just have one, it's fine. You can also have 2 amounts column, that is all right. All these amounts are in thousands because that's what they told in the problem. So same thing, I'm going to maintain it here as well. You can maintain 2 amounts column also, sir. That is also fine. One for the working, another one for the outer one. Your call. How many marks for this chapter? I told no, don't worry about marks when we are learning. At the end, I will tell you. Think that every chapter is very important. That way you should learn means there will not be any problems in passing. Okay. See, the moment you give option, that is the problem. That is where your mind plays tricks with you. If I tell this only comes for 2 marks, then you'll be like, early morning class I should attend only for 2 marks. Should have to do so many questions for 2 marks. Huh? But if I say this is for 20 marks, oh, full Josh. Correct? You thought it will come for 2, but it came for 20. Big problem. You thought it will come for 20, it only came for 2. That is also big problem. So mark should not be criteria for your preparations. Mark should be the criteria when you are revising. Because in revising, you have a little time constraint. You have less time. So there your priority, you should start prioritizing. That is smart work. There you have to see, okay, which topic has more weightage. I will first prepare that. Then I will prepare the other things. So that is where when you're learning only, if you say how much marks is this marks and all, you're going in probably the wrong direction. Learn everything, because everything has been asked in the examination for 5 marks also, for 15 marks also. Okay, so that's the reason, don't worry about marks for the time being. Okay, somebody is asking, sir, what is this overhead, sir? It went over my head only. Overhead means costing is done already. I'm thinking overhead is nothing but indirect expenditures. Company will have direct expenditures and indirect expenditures. The indirect expenditures, we call it as overheads. That is in costing terminology. But this is also related to your operations only. Okay, meaning they are necessary for production of goods, but you cannot exactly tie it out with the 1 unit of goods produced. Okay, you cannot qualify that. So that we call it as overheads. All right. So when does profit before extraordinary item come, sir? Oh, yeah, that and all is there, sir. I have no idea. Which problem are we in? First problem. Cash flow statement has many problems, has many adjustments, has many transactions. So we just are starting the party. So hang on. All right. They say no, dana danadalli mahadana samadana. So you have to be patient. Okay. First heading is what, sir? Cash flow from operating activities. Cash flow from operating activities. Then how you are supposed to do an examination is put up operating activities, leave 8 to 10 lines, and then put up the second bucket, which is what?
Investment taxes.
Cash flow from investing activities. This is okay. All right. The third bucket is cash flow from financing activities. Okay. Keep the category ready, and then as in when you read the data, go on updating under the respective category. Generally, operating activities will take you the maximum space. Okay. This is a chota problem, so it will not consume so much space. That's fine. Or maybe since I'm doing the format, why to hold back? I shall go for further. Magica. 1 minute. I think this much space should be sufficient for today's class. Okay. Net increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalents. Opening cash and cash equivalents. If you're not if what I'm writing is not making sense to you, don't copy for now, copy it later. Closing cash and cash equivalents. Okay, this is the format. So done. Okay, one by one we will go now. First, receipt from customers. You already told that this is an operating activity. So under operating activity, I will write receipts from customers. And how much is that receipt, sir? 2783. If I don't write any sign, if I just write the number, then it automatically indicates that this is a positive number, meaning it's a plus number. Next, so this is over. Next is issue of shares. Issue of shares is what activity? Financing activity. So I'll come under financing activity and I'll write issue of shares. How much value, sir? 300. So again, cash is coming in, so it is a positive number. Okay, no? All right. Sale of fixed asset. Sale of fixed asset is an investing activity. So under investing activity, I'll come and I'll write sale of fixed asset. How much is that sale value? 128. Perfect. Then payment to suppliers. Payment to suppliers meaning payment to creditors. Payment to creditors is an example of operating activity. Under operating activity, we'll come and I'll write payment to suppliers. How much payment? 2047. It is a payment. So this is cash coming in or cash going out? Out means I will show it under negative. Missing, I'll put it under brackets. Okay, this also over. Next, payment for property, plant and equipment. You purchased a property, plant and equipment and made a payment. So where will this come under? Property, plant and equipment is nothing but fixed asset. Where will it come under? Investing activity. You will write payment for property, plant and equipment. And number is 230. Plus or minus? Minus. Okay. Next to payment of overheads. Overhead is nothing but your indirect expenses which are necessary for you to conduct your operations. So payment of overheads is also an example of operating activity. Both payment of overheads as well as wages and salary. Both I'll write it off. Payment of overheads and then payment for salary. No? Payment of or they've just told wages and salary. I will write that. Wages and salaries. How much is the overhead payment? 115 and this is 69. So both are payments. So both are in brackets. Next, taxation. So all these are payments. So this is the tax paid. So tax paid also will come under operating activity. Tax paid is how much, sir? 243. Yes. Okay, next, dividend. So this is also dividend paid because all these are payments. So dividend paid is a financing activity. Come under financing activity and write dividend paid. And the number is 80. Outflow, so given in brackets. So this is over. Repayment of bank loan is also financing activity. So repayment of bank loan and the number is 250 as in brackets. People okay? Any other activities they have given? I'm not talking about opening balance and closing balance. Other than opening and closing, have they given any other information? No. That means we have only these activities. Now each category ka total you do. Each category ka total. First is this 309. That we call it as C. This is the total cash flow from operating activities. Now that we call it as net cash flow. Net cash flow from / used in operating activities. Net cash flow from operating activities. In the bracket I've written used in because sometimes this final number, no, it need not be positive. It could also be negative. If it's a positive number means from that activity you have got some extra cash flow. If it is negative means for that activity you have used more cash. So that's the reason used in, I've written it in brackets. It could be both, we don't know. So there's a format, so I've just written off both there. So this I'll call it as A. You can call it as 1, 2, 3. I'm representing it as A. Same like that, you also find out what I have to write here. You tell me if you have understood this. Here what I should write? Net cash flow from / bracket mein used in investing activities. So this I will call it as B. This is positive or negative? Negative. Negative how much? These two, if you do the total, you're getting 102. 102. Or maybe write in different ink. 102. Okay, 102. This is, I'm calling it as B. Similarly, you find out net cash flow for what activity? Net cash flow from / used in financing activities. This I'll call it as C. And how much is that? These three numbers, if you add, it will be negative 30. Perfect. Now, whatever I've written it as A, B, and C, that you total, because only three activities from which you can generate cash flow. all the three activities put together, if you collate, no, you'll totally get to know from all the activities how much cash did you actually earn or how much cash have you actually spent more. Okay, so A plus B plus C you do, that only we call it as net increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalents. A plus B plus C. A for operating cash activity ka final number and all this number. These three what I've ticked, you add up and tell me what is the number. 177. Positive number. You're getting a positive number of 177. Meaning overall the company has generated an extra cash flow from all the activities to the extent of 1,77,000 because all these numbers are in thousands. Fair enough, people. You remember doing bank reconciliation statement?
Yes, sir.
What you used to do in that bachpan? Take a cash book balance, arrive at passbook balance. Yes, no? Cash flow statement is like that only. How much cash have you got from all your activities? 177. How much cash you already had at the beginning? How much cash you already had at the beginning? 35. To this 177, if you add 35, no, compulsorily you should get cash ka closing balance. If you don't get, somewhere you have done wrong. Okay, what is this 35? Your opening cash and cash equivalent ka balance, which is given to you in the problem. Add these two number. How much are you getting? These two ka number if you add? 212. And what is the closing balance of cash they have given? 212. So is it not matching? Yes, that means what we have done is correct. If it doesn't, if you are getting any other creative number, that means recheck your question or recheck your solution. Some gadbad you have done. That's all is cash flow statement. Isn't it easy, sir? Yes. Okay. This is your which method? Maybe if problem, I'll write off here heading also. In bracket, I will write a direct method. Direct method means the information, like you have cash flow from operating activities, no? If all this information, if it is directly available with you, then we use direct method. If information is missing, then we'll go for another method known as indirect. For the time being, let's not worry about indirect. Direct method, you got it? So if these information, if it is given or if you can find out somehow by putting a working note, then we prefer the direct method. I think in today's, I think that's clear now, direct method. Yes, no, people? Anything you want to copy? You want me to zoom in on or all okay?
All okay.
All okay, now? All right then. Thank you, sir.